Good night, New York, and welcome to the News Every Day. My name is Frank Owen, presenting this news. Today we are going to start by seeing a report about multiculturalism in Canada.
Hello, my name is Jessica Slow. Canada is often described as a multicultural nation, but what does that mean? It means that Canadians are not of any one culture and background, race or heritage. Instead, Canadians today reflect a vast diversity of cultural heritage and racial groups. This multicultural diversity is a result of centuries of immigration.
Hello, my name is Derek Rooney. All Canadians can trace their origins to an immigrant past, but this doesn't mean that the majority of Canadians are immigrants. Far from it, only about 60% of today's Canadian citizens were born outside Canada. It doesn't mean that anyone who wants to immigrate to Canada may do so. Immigration to Canada is a privilege, not a right. Canada remains selective about who may enter and equally important, who may not.
Canada can be described as a multicultural society whose racial and ethnic diversity is expressed in different ways. In recent years, a viral immigration policy has attracted a growing number of applications from non-traditional sources such as Africa, Asia, Central America, and the Caribbean. Much of this diversity is concentrated in Ontario, particularly in the metropolitan region of Toronto, as well as in the metropolitan areas of Vancouver and Montreal. In this report, we are going to talk to different people who are living in Canada but are from another culture. Right now, I am going to talk with François, a Frenchman who lives in Canada.
Bonjour, my name is François and I'm 41 years old. I'm French, but I live in Canada almost all my life.
How and when the French start to go to Canada?
French Canadian refers to descendants of French colonists who arrived in New France, Canada, in the 17th and 18th centuries. Today, French Canadians is the name given to French-speaking population of Canada. In Canada, we have more than 7 million of inhabitants who are French. It's an important number. It's more or less of 21% of the population in Canada. Because of all this, French is an official language in Canada, such as English. Like 85% of French Canadians, I live in Quebec. But why the French are installed in this province? Because most cities and villages in this province were built and settled by the French during the French colonial rule. That's why we see a lot of French in Quebec. Now that we have heard a French Canadian, we are going to hear the history of a young Asiatic girl who was victim of discrimination in Canada. His name is Lee Young and she is 17.
Quite frankly, I am the first child of my parents who immigrated from Asia. I have the pleasure of being born and raised in Canada. However, there are a couple of occasions where I have had racist comments made against me, like I don't belong here or I should go home. There's no clear way to explain the feeling. It sucks. I don't think I have done anything to deserve to live here. I was born and raised here, just like many other Canadians. What could I possibly done to be treated in a negative way like that? Now I know that not everyone in Canada behaves in such a bad manner, and I know that there are many respectful and welcome people out there. I am also sure that I could be treated much worse if I was anywhere else in the world. So I think we see less and less racism in Canada. That's why Canada is such a multiculturalism society. Now we'll interview another Canadian, this time an African Canadian. His name is Samuel Costa and he agreed to be with us today. So Samuel, can you talk a little bit about your life in Canada?
Hi. I came to Canada 2 years ago and I can say that it was a very good decision. Before living in Canada, I lived in my country, Senegal. I was very happy there, but my job wasn't good enough. One day, an exciting opportunity happened. I was invited to work in Canada, where I could be well paid. Arriving in Canada, I was afraid with the well-known racism. But a few days after my arrival, I wasn't afraid anymore. In Canada, the persons were very, how can I say, very nice to me. In conclusion, I can say that I love Canada and I'm very happy here.
Thank you, Samuel. Over the years, attitudes toward immigration and the development of immigration policies have evolved, reflecting economic, political and social issues in our country. Recently, the federal government has announced changes that will both decrease the number of immigration allowed into Canada. My name is Jessica Sloan.
And I'm Derek Rooney.
And we wish you a good evening.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we